Hello, how you doing today?
Hi,
Pretty
good.
good.
Paul? Yeah.
Yeah, doing great. We're so happy to have both of you on with us today because this movie is so much fun, and it just looked like you were having the best time making this. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, yes. And it's also a lot of work and hot and humid in
Yeah.
Houston. We had a great
Oh
crew.
gosh, yeah,
But yes, listen, the best stuff is in the camera, is on
yeah,
screen. It is a lot of fun when everything is working, and it did work very well a lot of the time. And working with Mena was also fantastic.
Thank
yeah.
you.
I mean, you had a good time too, right?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I had a blast. I was excited to work with Joseph Kahn, our director, and I loved this character. I just felt like she'd be a lot of fun to play, and she was. And then I personally loved being able to experience working in these scenes where I played my younger version of myself, which I just was sort of was surreal. And then being able to also play into the horror element of it later in the film was a lot of fun for me because I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So they had you here in the great state of Texas, but in Houston, where it's just extra hot. They just want you to sweat a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It really helped, get the feeling of the ick in the in the atmosphere, the stickiness, the heaviness.
Oh no, is that me?
Oh, I don't know. I'm still here. Oh, you did thumbs up.
Oh, oh wait, we lost you for a second.
Oh,
Okay, that was me for a minute, but then Brandon was alive. You were
yeah.
frozen.
I
The
know.
ick
So
got
we do
you.
that
The ick
sometimes.
was
It did get me. It did get me.
there. Yeah.
The ick has gotten into the internet. It's
Yeah,
so hot
totally.
here, it just melted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
is there a particular memory that stood out to you? Is there a certain day, scene, or time that you're just like looking around going, "Hey, I get paid for this. This is great."
no. I mean, yeah, honestly, like it was, and it's not because it was glorious in the moment. It was the third day of shooting night. Actually, we started at 6 p.m. and we were set to film until 6 a.m. until the sun, was too bright. And it was a scene where I have a lot of clothing on and all this lights, and I'm jumping on a car and off a car and doing all these stunts. And it's hot. It's 100 degrees, 100, percent humidity. Uh, and we're halfway through the night, and I'm sitting in the chair sweating, just going, I don't know if I can do this. And I look around and I see all the crew buzzing and moving and getting on the next shot. And I was like, okay, Brandon, it's either like suck it up or just like own it. Like this is also like amazing. Look how hard everybody's working. And that was like a pivotal, third day for me. And that helped me invest in it even more, um, because I get to do the fun part, and it's pretty amazing, especially in respect to how hard everyone else is working.
Yeah. You mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think God, there were so many special moments for me. Like I said, it was really surreal dressing up in a lot of the clothes that I wore in the late 90s and early 2000s, putting on a cheerleading uniform again, working with this de-aging process that I'd never experienced on a project before. Um, and then I loved Stacy and I loved all these different vignettes that we got to film with her. And you just see her personality, whether she's like lounging with her daughter, sunning with a fruit platter and giving her Louis Vuitton hair, what is it, Louis Vuitton pepper spray, or yeah, just kind of like nice fighting with her husband. Working with Peter Wong was incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, and one of the things that I really loved again that was really unique for me was there was a scene, I believe it was when we were shooting one of the prom moments, and Chancellor, our editor, to me, he's like a wizard. And he was always like off in some corner somewhere. And we would shoot part of the scene and then run over to his cart, and you could and he had like the scene edited already. And it just
Hmm.
blew my mind. It was like nothing I've ever experienced before. It wasn't just like going to the monitor and seeing a playback of a take. It was like cut together, and it was just incredible to I just feel like I'm not the most tech savvy, so it's just incredible to see these people working in this way, and it all being put together in such a fast-paced way. It was really awesome to experience that.
That's so cool. Well, a bunch of people look up to what both of you have done and been doing so well for so long. What kind of advice would each of you give to somebody that wants to follow in your footsteps and tell great stories?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. You wanna
I mean, telling great stories or telling somebody's story is about really being curious and non-judgmental about what their experience must have been. Everybody has their own story. Everybody kind of walks around in their own world view. I learned that more and more as I get older. When I think, why can't people feel? Don't they see the world that I do? And they really don't always. There are some things we can agree on, not enough. But in order to kind of understand, instead of being getting frustrated by that all the time, I start to ask the question honestly and more objectively, well, what could be going on that they think that other thing that's opposite of mine? And then you can find, more authenticity and truth in the story and tell a more truthful story, I think, when you understand another person's voice better.
Yeah, well said. You know?
I think I think a lot of what I've learned over the years is really listening to that inner self and following that passion that you have um, for material, for anything really that you want to do. Um, because I think that when you're able to really be able to execute that passion, you're never really wrong with that. I think the moments where I got so involved trying to I put so much energy into trying to capture what I thought someone wanted me to be or what I needed to be. It took me away more from, I think, my ability. And yeah, so I think the more that I've been able to kind of trust the things that I've wanted to do and not necessarily put everything into what someone else is telling me they think
Trying to please somebody else.
what something will be, that it's served me a lot more. You're your biggest advocate, and that's something that can happen, I think, just overall in the world, but especially in this business. And and I think it just takes you away from yourself more if you're, and I've experienced this with a lot of other people too that I know. You can, to me it's such a like I think like it's so draining of your energy because you're putting so much into trying to figure out what you think you need to be. And I think the more you're able to kind of get into the space of, this is who I am, this is what I have to offer, this is my perspective of something, and no one, and you're unique, no one else will have that.
Yeah, your voice.
That's more of the gift than trying to, you know, figure out what that formula is, because it's like everybody kind of thinks that there's like a formula, or I have to, you know, do something this exact way, and life just doesn't work out like that. There's for me, the more that I kind of got outside of that thinking and interacted with others and really allowed my whole self to shine, the more connections I made, the more relationships I made. And a lot of that is, and then that path is guided by all of that, you know?
Yeah, I love that. Well, before we let you go, I love that you're both all in for this. And I got to know, is there something that you tell yourself right before you have to go into these super hot scenes and action moments and just kind of go all in, is that kind of keeps you on the right path and keeps you focused even when the days are hard and you're melting.
Yeah. Oh, for me, I just really quick, I remember working with Jen Lynch, David Lynch's daughter. I was working with her on a show in Charleston, and I think we were way over into the day. We were like cutting into early morning Saturday hours. And she had come in to direct a couple episodes of this show. And right before she called action, she she just yelled out over the whole soundstage. She said, "Remember, everyone, we're making art." And it really struck me, and I never forgot that because it really reminded me, like, oh yeah, this is like why we do what we do, and it's not about any of the other BS, you know. It's really about what you're giving to create, and just the way that she pulled everybody in together to remember that. It was something that I always think about.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
just yes, all of that, and I would just say I sometimes I just close my eyes, take a deep breath, hum, get connected to my voice, and feel a softness in my eyes. Sometimes it's a little bit of uh, tear production, not even anything. It's just like it grounds me. Sometimes looking at the ground and then go, uh, or and then just know that I can go again. Sometimes it's just
Yeah.
like it's
Oh,
like
that's beautiful.
sometimes it's
Well,
good to have it all the pressure on. Sometimes it's good to know that oh, I could screw this up and I could go again.
Yeah.
yeah, I love that. Hey, thank you both so much for your wonderful answers, and thank you for putting out something so fun. We're to tell everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay, thank you
you.
so much.
Okay, bye.
Hey.